Hello, model kit and Gundam and action figure collectors. This is a metal base for airbrushes, I think, but if you have those three toys, you'll very often run into those cheap, flimsy plastic bases that they come with, and they always never stay where you want them to. So I thought I'd try this. USTAR makes a lot of hobby-related tools and stuff. So it says multifunctional metal base support, not metal. Alloy adjustment display. This is the part number if you want to search it out. Some sort of hologram. And then some Chinese stuff there that I can't make anything out of. Alright, so nice strong box. I did cut into it. It came in a padded envelope and I just cut through it. Okay, we got a big chunk of aluminum there. It comes with the actual tool. And then here's a quick release for the airbrush. And then this is what I'm really after, a metal arm that hopefully can support the weight of a figure or a model of some sort. Let's get a different light angle here. So first the base, it's a solid chunk of aluminum and it has this thing. So if you buy two, you can now join them together with metal pieces, right? So you can have a whole bank of these if you want. And they also have one that actually looks like a Gundam base. It just costs twice as much money, so I thought I'd try the cheaper one first. But it has the same interface, I think, so you could actually probably attach this to that other stand. This is kind of unsightly right now, but obviously I'm going to keep this for future use if I find that this is useful. Alright, so it's nicely anodized red. Looks like it was sandblasted before that. And then this is CNC'd out, so you could put like a label there. And then this is laser etched, and then you got the threading there. So the original intention is to screw this in, or one of the intentions. And now you have a quick release for your airbrush. But I don't do that. I permanently have my hose attached to my airbrush, so I'm not swapping airbrushes off the same compressor. But this is what I'm really after here. So you pop this in, and now that is stuck in place. Granted, this thing is metal on metal. You might want to thread lock that if you don't want that thing to be untwisting. But actually, I just hand tightened it, and this will still... No, it did take it with it. So yeah, I would suggest thread lock there. Now, the arm is also aluminum, and then you can see it's got hex-headed screws, but they're not the right size of this tool, so that's interesting that they would bother giving you both tools. So I'm gonna have to figure out what size this is. Okay, and in the event you actually lose this tool, this is an M2. 2 mil, well, focus. So it's an M2 for this little under triangle nut joining thingamabob. Alright, but the actual pivot thing, this is an M2.5, and that seems to be the one that's going to fit these. I don't actually have an air brush with the quick release, so I can't show you an airbrush on this, so I apologize for that. But if you have the whatever these fittings are called, I'm pretty sure it'll work fine. Alright, so let's pop this in here. And I did thread lock this. Oh, if you're also curious how big this nut size down here is, it's a 10. I hope you can see that. But be careful, if you just lazily twist this, you're going to scratch off the red. So you want to make sure, the tool is elevated a little bit, or maybe put some tape on one side of this thing. I didn't tighten it that much because it's not going to be subjected to too much spin force, since this is relatively loose. But because it is a quick release, it's not going to just fall out either. Alright, so as these pivots are set from the factory, let's see how they are. Oh yeah, that's not moving at all. So you definitely need the tool, and let's loosen this. It's interesting, it's moving the pivot and not actually loosening. I don't know if there's thread lock in there. Let me try this one. Alright, I guess you just gotta have some force. Alright, just a tiny bit. This one though is kinda have to dig into your fingers. Ah, boy, this one is on really tight. I don't know what happened at the factory. They over torqued it. I'm gonna have to come back. I might have to try putting some blowtorch on this. It might discolor the anodizing, but I don't know. Hold on. So I did put a blowtorch, and then it started bubbling out. So that means there's an O-ring in here. So I'm just gonna take this apart and show you what's going on. Luckily, I have a whole bunch of O-rings. I'm not too concerned about replacing an O-ring. That's still, you know what? Actually, that might be a plastic thing because this is still difficult to undo. Maybe it's a bad thread? This is still very tight. I'm curious to see if this... I'm going to take apart the second one, which was not subjected to heat, and we'll see if there's thread lock in it. Maybe that was the issue. But let's see what happens here. Oh, okay, so there is actually a plastic... Or no, this is... I think this is a steel washer, maybe? I don't think it's plastic. But there's clearly plastic here. So I guess this plastic is what's causing the friction to hold this thing together. But for some reason, there's just too much of it or something. I don't see any indication of thread lock. Let me do this one and see what happens. This one also. Well, no, this is definitely easier. Alright, let's see one that didn't undergo. So this is a plastic washer. Okay, so that's causing a lot of friction there. I think that's a good design. There's a little indication that there's thread lock here. All this dust here, I'm pretty sure was like a thread lock. And yeah, you can see now on the bolt, it was blue thread locked. So at least it's not red thread lock. I think what happened is they just put too much thread lock on mine, and I didn't want to risk the chance of stripping this, because if it was red thread lock, it would destroy the bolt before it came undone. What does that mean to you? I don't know. Usually blue thread lock is not power enough to overcome the strength of a stainless steel bolt. So I think you could probably maybe put it into a clamp and undo it by hand. But since I don't know what they were using, that's exactly what I did not do. But luckily, you know, there's still plenty of this black plastic left, so it can be fine. I'm still going to reuse it. And that washer wasn't totally melted improperly. You know, it's weird. There's no... I don't know if there's a recess for this one, like the last one we just saw. So I couldn't leave it alone, and I ended up picking out this thing. So there is a recess after all. This right just melted, you know, when I blowtorched it. So, and then also, I thought maybe there was a lot of friction from the plastic piece surrounding this, so I just clipped that off as well. I did put it together, and it will move a little bit because it's pretty smooth metal on metal, so you have to factor in the gap that used to be that plastic. So this is a washer, and the outer dimension is 8 millimeters, and this hole to accommodate this bolt should be 4 millimeters. Alright, so the thickness ideally would probably be 1 millimeter. If you don't put one in the bolt before this, it's going to stick out past the sphere. So I'm going to put one here, pop that in. So that's going to replace the plastic that was there. And then I tried it with this just metal, and you can get it tight. By the way, this is a 0.7 width washer, so I think if it was a 1 millimeter it would be better. 0.7 might be a little too short, so I happen to have a couple of these like rubbery washers. These are M3 by 8 by 0.5, but ideally it'd be M4 by 8 by 0.5. And so I'm thinking, since these are a little rubbery, they might compress a little bit better and actually fill out that recess on that other part of the sphere. So let me just put this on. And actually, because it is an M3, it won't fall off easily because it has to deform around that bolt. So now I'm going to put this here. Yeah, see, it's a little gappy because, well, you know, maybe if that metal was 0.5 millimeter and that plastic was 0.5 millimeter, it might be perfect. But Let me tighten it. Now that rubber is totally compressed. It's definitely difficult. You would have to put a very heavy model on this to try to move this. I can move it with my hands, but I didn't even tighten it very hard, so I guess that's going to be my solution for now. It's a little gappy, but if you were to replace these, I would recommend maybe getting a bunch of 1/2 millimeter washers and then stacking them and trying them out or something like that. Or well, yeah, I don't know what else to say. You're going to have to experiment. But the key thing is the outer dimension is at 8 millimeters, and the hole size should be 4 or 3 if it's a rubbery, flexible washer. So now this is his back. Yeah, that's really difficult to move. And then these obviously not being destroyed, they can be tightened, as intended. So that plastic is compressing, I guess, in there. Oh, but you know what? Maybe I want to. This is still pretty easy to move. Let me try. Okay. Oh yeah, that's actually pretty difficult now. So it's just a matter of tightening these properly. Alright, so yeah, it's gonna be really hard for a model to move. Let me go get something. So I think if any of you have experience with the plastic stands, you probably wouldn't pose your Gundam like this. This is a Master Grade SD Barbatos. But with metal, I mean, that's a pretty strong friction fit, so you can do these sort of things. So I guess it's a pretty good product. If you really love your models, though, you probably want to get the actual one with the action base, because this, it's only so much of a footprint. Eventually, if you have a heavy model, it's going to overcome the weight of this aluminum and then fall over. But luckily, this is a plastic model, so it's pretty lightweight. Alright, you get the gist there. But I really bought this for airplanes. So this is a 3D printed airplane by Top Gun Chen, and I want to have it climbing. I guess it doesn't need to be that high up. You'll see I can still move it if I use both hands, because that's the tension I have it set at. Maybe move it this way so it's all the weight's over, and then that down. I guess you could. Well, I don't want to touch it. I'll scratch the red stuff. So maybe like that, and it'll be climbing. But most of the weight is still over the red base, so it shouldn't. Excuse me. It shouldn't topple. Uh-oh, but here's an issue. Look. So let's measure this peg. Yeah, this is kind of silly. This is a 2.7 millimeter peg. The universal pegs on most toys are 3 millimeters. So this is going to be loose. Things are going to rotate around. I know this because if I put this on here, which has a 3 millimeter hole, it fell around. So what I ended up doing is taking this Potafix Pro Putty just to fill in the thing. I suppose you could also just put some heat shrink on there, and then that'll tighten up the hole. It's just that heat shrink, when you twist it, it tends to fall apart. If your model is lightweight enough, obviously this is fine. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I guess that's it. It's clearly going to work for an airbrush, because an airbrush just sits right on this piece. This metal arm is really what I was after. It's the only metal arm I'm aware of that's this small. If you know of another brand, let me know and I'll try it out. I suppose the only other thing I would wish this thing could have had is storage for this. If the bottom is, it would take a little extra CNC time, but maybe they could have had a recess so you could just store this thing in there and not lose it in the future. And now I got to put it somewhere else and probably lose it. Let's hold on here. End this video with a more ridiculous pose. Oh, I didn't even really measure how long this arm is, so I guess I gotta do that too. So yeah, there we go. very neat. But you know, because this is heavy aluminum, if you have a lightweight model, you can get some more extreme offsets. Alright, but let me at least tell you the length of this thing. Figures. From the actual base of the red surface to the bottom of the peg is like 171 millimeters in a vertical position. The actual arm, although that's less important, I would say is 15. Well, you know what? Here, just pause the video and you can see it's like 148 maybe. This pivot to pivot here is maybe 6 centimeters. This pivot to pivot is also 6 centimeters. So you have 6, 6, and then you have the extra on both ends. And let's just put this back for a very boring pose. Alright, well that's it. I'm pretty satisfied. Don't go taking a blowtorch to it. It's just blue thread lock, so you don't need to destroy it like I did. But if you did destroy it like I did, you can just get some washers and fill in the gaps. Thanks for watching.